Well, good morning. Welcome to American Reversion. How are you all today? What now? What next? I think that's the question that a lot of people have. Where do we go from here? We had a disappointing election day. Fully expected for the Republicans who feel, well, they talk a game that's closer to what most of us believe than do the Democrats. And we had an expectation that there was going to be a Republican surge that was larger than what we saw. I think we misunderstood a couple of things. Maybe I shouldn't get into that right now. Maybe I'll save that for another one. I want to talk about what this really means, where we go from here, and a couple of comments that I got that I think serve to kind of direct us in that. By the way, welcome to everyone. Welcome to all the new people, both here and on Patreon. If you're not with us on Patreon, we'd love to have you over there. I do put some extra stuff over there, but the real reason for that is to support this channel, and I so much appreciate those who have. And if you'd like to, the link to the Patreon channel is down below. I'm going to put in a rule here. I had a number of comments, not as much on this channel as I did on the other channel, about how voting is useless and I don't vote because of this and all of that. Well, here's going to be our rule on this channel. We have a politically speaking, let me put it this way, politically speaking, I believe we have a more in tune, in touch, politically intelligent audience than you might find on other channels. And so I think pretty much everyone here is a thoughtful person and participates. In case there's not, here's a rule. If you didn't vote, you don't get to comment. Okay, voting is the most basic and easiest responsibility of a citizen. People who don't vote, and I have to say that I was disgusted the other day, not so much with the outcome of the elections, but with how many people I realize don't vote. It's just astounding to me. I mean, with all of the complaints that you hear around, you would have thought that there would have been that red tidal wave that we heard about, but apparently, and we all know this, this should not have surprised me perhaps, but in the field of politics, I guess it did. The complainers are rarely doers, Now, doers will complain, but so many people who just complain and wah, they don't do what it takes to change anything, to have an effect on anything, to put themselves out there, because complaining is so much easier than actually doing something. So for people who did not vote, no, I'm sorry, you do not get to comment here. This is a place you can learn, you can watch, you can listen, you can learn from those of us who do vote, because when we vote, we do so as a result of a lot of research and study, and it's based on our ideals and our principles and our values. And most of the time, it's not a one issue vote. We have a broad understanding of the political process and most of the candidates involved. And so you can learn a lot. Okay. So if you didn't vote, you don't get to talk. You are encouraged to listen and learn. Now, for those of you, the rest of you, which is 99%, I think, probably on this channel, and I think you probably applauded what I just said, and because many of you said something to the same, pretty much the same. You didn't do it quite as nicely I did. I think you said, if you didn't vote, shut up. I think that's right. That's pretty much it. If you didn't vote, you don't get a seat at this table. You can sit back there and listen in and hopefully learn something. The question is, where do we go from here? And somebody made a comment, I believe it was on this channel, it could have been on the other, but I think it was this. Well, it's too late for a reversion now. No, not at all. This is what reversion is all about. We've known for a long time that this country is going down into the ditch. Sometimes it goes faster, sometimes it slows down, sometimes it looks like it might be taking a turn, but overall, the general trajectory of our country is down. Now, is there any turning it around? No, I don't think that there is. I don't think that there is. I think that the best we can do is slow it down sometimes. And why do we do that? Well, we can either say, well, let's just get it to crash and burn, and then that will give us the fire from which the phoenix will rise. Those of you who are familiar with what a phoenix is, and let's get it over with. Well, that entails a whole lot of suffering. It really does. I mean, death and suffering and horrible things that I don't want my kids to live through, and neither do you. And I have to admit that sometimes, I say with my friends, we'll say, man, I am ready. Let's just get this ball rolling and get this thing taken care of. It's not that easy. It's not going to, the ball is not going to get rolling that fast, as much as we would like to, maybe, hey, tear off that bandage, real quick. Not going to happen, because that's not the way that our politics works, our political system. And we have to deal with reality. We can't deal with, a fantasy, a perfect fantasy of what we would like. So, this thing is going to continue to go down slow and slow and slow. And it might have some upticks. We've had upticks over the last, 50 years. And it makes us feel better, and it makes us think like, maybe things are going to turn themselves around. But, essentially most people are weak. Thomas Jefferson is the one who said that a country gets the government it deserves. I'm going to be talking more about that because probably tomorrow, because that's a quote that has been misquoted and misused many times, and it doesn't really apply the way a lot of people think. So I want to address that. But we see that even though sometimes we see some hope, America, because of, I'm not going to go through everything that's happened here. You know it as well as I do. It's not the America it used to be. So that brings us to the point, what do we do? And the person says it's too late for a reversion now. No, this is what reversion is all about. Reversion is taking something back to the way it used to be. Let me sister that with, I use a woodworking term there, with the idea that all politics are local, and that's true. And I could use Harry Truman as an example. I'm not going to take the time to do that. Maybe in another one I will. But pretty much in everything, politics are local. Now, what's local? And when we get back to a reversion, by the way, I'll stick this book up here. That's what my book's about, a reversion. Yeah. Some people would say we need a revival. Guess what? I wrote a book called The Revival too. Is that it, or is that the renewal? Yeah, that's the revival. Yeah, we do need a revival, and that comes from God. Okay, we can pray that He will give us a revival. That's a spiritual situation. We should each ask for that. We should each ask for a spiritual revival individually, daily. Okay, and we would ask Him to direct us in everything that we do. And then, there have been revivals before. This country needs one. It needs a reversion. So where does the idea of reversion come from? The story, if you've read my books, if you've read even the first one, now the Stonemont series, let me hold this up. Somebody asked me about that the other day. This is the first book of the Stonemont series, the books that I wrote about a collapse of society, how to prepare for, how to survive, and then how to come out the other end, rebuilding a proper community. And my point there was, it follows a family who was prepared, and when the crash came, they were able to help other people. They formed a larger, strong group of people with common ideals, common foundational values and principles. And from there, they built a new community, several new communities. And as a result, they were able to, other people saw that and they came to them, people who felt the same and just wanted an opportunity. This is what we need to be doing now. Everyone should be involved in their own personal reversion. Okay, that starts with the family. It starts with your family. If you are fortunate enough to have a good family, an intact family, a loving family, a supportive family, one that hasn't been torn asunder by politics and medical issues and things like that, well then you've already started. You've already got the start. You need to build that. You need to strengthen that. If that's not your case, well, hopefully you have a circle of friends and you can build it with there. The ideal thing, of course, is to have that strong nuclear family. A nuclear family that, in my point, is a father, a mother, and children. Okay. A lot of people look at family differently nowadays. Well, we include what we call framily, which is people who are not blood related but have become such close friends that we consider them family. But it starts with the nuclear family. And I make no apologies for that, and I don't think most of you do either, that a family is a mother and a father and their children. And as that mother and father raise their children according to biblical concepts, and I make no apologies for that either, not allowing kids to grow up and decide who and what they want to be without any direction and correction along the way and instruction. That's a parent's job. It's their responsibility, just like voting is the responsibility of a citizen. Correcting and properly raising children is the responsibility of parents, and we have too many that just have abdicated that responsibility. So if you're in the situation that you have that nuclear family, and then hopefully you have an extended family, and then you have family, those people that are so close they're almost like family, and then you have friends. See, this is where you need to start building your reversion. Everyone should start building their own reversion, separating themselves as much as possible from needing, okay, I'm not going to say accessing, but needing what is provided by the outside world and those systems, like I always say with integrative preparedness. Integrative preparedness is preparing to and being able to survive, to live well, separate from those interdependent systems over which you have little or no control, and that includes government programs. It includes fire protection, police protection, energy, lights, water, all that goes. And yes, it can be done. There are people who have just, most people have not done it. It doesn't mean that it can't be done, because it is done by many, many people. And I don't have to say it here. On the other one, I'd say, I know you got to pay your property taxes, because I'd have some nitwit going, you're never going to get away from the government. Separate yourself. Some people have very little contact with the government. What the government does really doesn't affect them that much, and that's what you want to try to work for. You want that reversion, and as you get your strong core built, it draws. It has a gravitational pull all its own, and when people see how you have built your life well, separate from needing the world. That doesn't mean that I don't like that Kelly and I don't like to go out and have a nice dinner. Okay, I like being able to run down to the Quick Trip and get a donut. Okay, I like the conveniences of the modern world, but I don't need them. Okay, so that's the difference. I'm not a hermit. I don't live on out in the woods. I don't want to. Okay, I want to live a nice life where I want to live, and most of you do too. So that's where you start. You need a personal reversion, and you need to think about starting to build it. And as you do that, like I said, your group can grow. You can build a stronger group, and then that group can have an effect on the people around it. And this is where you can, extend your beliefs, your principles, your values into a political framework. Because the larger a group, the more political clout it has. Machine politics has been like this forever. I said, organized crime was like this. Many groups, all the special interest groups are like this. The only people that don't have special interest groups are people who kind of like us, that want to just stay away from it all. But it's important that you can't stay away from it so much that you don't have an impact on the political process. Does that make sense? So this is why you want to develop your family, your friends, your larger group, so as to be able to have an effect on that. And one of the first effects is telling those people out there, folks, you have a responsibility to vote. You have a responsibility to know what's going on, not to pick your favorite boogeyman that you want to blame everything on, okay? But to really educate yourself as to the truth of the world around you, of the political process, the political ways, what's going on in our country, and vote intelligently. And then, much like Jesus said to his disciples, did he say go out and build churches? No, he didn't. He says go and make disciples. Go and make believers. If the simplest thing, if the most basic and simplest responsibility of citizenship is to vote, then perhaps the most important and sometimes the most difficult is to go out there and take that message to others and make other believers. Develop your political strength. There will be some out there that say, I don't want to do that, I don't want to get involved. That's a shame, but that's why we lose. If you want to try to save your country, if you want a reversion, that's what you do. And the thing is, it will make your life better right now. It will make your life better right now, because you will be developing stronger and better relationships with more and more people who think and feel the way you do. And really, that is such an important part of having a good life. Okay? So anyway, the way forward now, is just a continued fight. Okay? We continue to work. We continue to work for what we want, and we don't allow minor little setbacks, driven by the idiots around us, to depress us or take us back and negatively affect our lives. I won't let it negatively affect my life, even though I want to have an effect on the greater world around me. I will not let it have an effect on me. And that's pretty much the way, I suggest everybody feel and work towards. So anyway, back to that. If you're a little bit down and you want a great story and see how to really rebuild, remember these books are available on Amazon in both paperback and Kindle. And you can also get autographed copies from me. And there's a way to do that down there too. I should say also, somebody asked, was I going to be able to have a Christmas special on the books and all that? I have so much going on, guys. And some of you know I have several businesses. This time of year, I am just up to here. It was great. I just shipped out a whole bunch of T-shirts, integrated preparedness, and Stonemont T-shirts the other day. That was great. That's just one of the many things that we're doing. And I just am not going to have time to put together a Christmas package. And somebody will say, what does it take? Just, put them on sale. Well, I'm not going to put the books on sale, because the books are worth the books are worth a lot more than they cost. Okay. So you don't put something on sale if it's already, a good deal. So I was going to put something extra. I just don't have time to do it or think about it. So I'm sorry for that. But hey, if you want to buy them for yourself or somebody else for Christmas, they're already a good deal. You can get them either from Amazon. I think they're $12.99 paperback from Amazon. And I think the price is going up pretty soon. Or you can get them for $15 a piece from me, autographed. So if you'd like to send somebody a Christmas present, something they would love, if they think like we do, they will love these. the way to do it is right down there. And I look forward to being able to do that for you. It seemed like, oh yeah. And if you'd like to support the channel, and we so much appreciate that, remember, down below is the way to come to our Patreon channel. You can join for $1 a month. Support us for $1 a month or more if you'd like. We have a lot of people pledge more. You know, you don't have to, but do what you want. And don't let this get you down. Let this reinvigorate you and help you to set your life and your priorities and your energies in a new or perhaps just a stronger direction. Okay, remember that America needs a reversion. Needs you to be a part of it, needs me to be a part of it, needs all of us to be a part of it. You folks out there who are not allowed to comment, who didn't vote, keep listening. Get in the game, will you? If don't blame the other side when we lose. Blame the people on our side who didn't help pull on the rope. Okay? All right. Y'all have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.